Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to address the elephant in the room. And by elephant in the room, I of course mean feminist frequency. Something was said recently on her official account, basically breaking down The Witcher 3 as a sexist game. Let's go through these tweets. I should point out this is not Anita Sarkeesian saying these things. It is most likely someone on her staff, a secretary, Jonathan McIntosh himself, or maybe it is her. We don't know. But this is the company Twitter account. Either way, it does say "I" in this first tweet, which I think does sort of lead the reader to assume it is Anita Sarkeesian. So let's begin with this first one here. May 28th. Welp, I guess we could just use The Witcher 3 to illustrate the rest of our Tropes vs. Women series because it includes all the sexist tropes. I suppose if you cherry pick it does, but otherwise it does not. I'll come back to that later. In The Witcher 3 you get to play as Ciri for short segments, but be warned, enemies will yell nasty gendered insults at her while she fights. Well, the immediate reaction to this is, well, what about Geralt? And she addresses this in a second. But she continues, The Witcher 3 does to Ciri what Arkham City did to Catwoman. Thugs yell bitch and whore and sexually harass both women as you play them. Which is true. They are sexually harassed. They are also called nasty names that are gendered. But hold on, let's go on. Also, the "it's realistic for enemies to sexually harass female characters" excuse is nonsense in fantasy games filled with ghouls and wraiths. This should be a huge red flag to anyone who is interested in game development or interested in fiction in general. Fiction, especially fantasy worlds, can face real issues. In both of these cases, these are strong female characters fighting against people who are yelling gendered insults. In what world do we live in where a feminist would say that that's a bad thing? Well, here we are. Let's continue. Dear gaming industry, if you want to appeal to women, maybe consider not having your game yell bitch and whore at us while we're playing. First off, the game isn't saying anything. If you want to get technical, it's the characters in the game yelling at another character on screen. But of course, she has to take it personally. Let's go on. Enemies in Witcher 3 yell gendered insults at the playable female character, but insults thrown at the male lead are decidedly not gendered. I mean, okay, I guess they could call him a dick. That would be a male gendered insult. This doesn't have the right, I don't know, doesn't sound as bad. Let's go on a second. Enemies call Geralt freak and mutant due to fictional prejudice against magic. When they call Ciri cunt, it's rooted in real-life racism. This is another red flag. Because gendered insults apparently are rooted in real-life sexism, but ableist insults apparently are not rooted in anything realistic. She is putting sexism above ableism. Because people are called freaks and mutants in real life. People are treated badly based off their different appearance. Maybe birth deformities. Maybe things they can't handle. Things they didn't do themselves. Things they were born with. But that doesn't matter to her. What matters is the sexism. Whoever wrote this really needs to address it. And of course she does not. Or I guess I should say whoever wrote these does not. Instead, you get tweets like this defending her. There's nothing quite as depressing as reading replies to pretty much any feminist frequency tweet. Well, maybe that would be the case if she wasn't being ableist, but she is. And is she going to address it? Is she going to apologize? Of course not. Well, congratulations everyone, we've reached the other side of the looking glass. We're down the rabbit hole. We were transported in a tornado. We are now in a weird amalgamation of Oz and Wonderland. This is a world where a feminist is upset that a strong female character is defeating people who yell gendered insults. A world where sexism is somehow worse than ableism, and where fiction is not allowed to address real-world issues. I think that's about all I have to say about this. Thanks for watching.